All right, so now that we've talked about our basic Venn diagram, we're going to go through and we're going to look at the relationships of these sets. In many of these cases, we will be using Venn diagrams to assist us in this. So the first kind of group of things that we're going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at complements, intersections, and unions. So we're going to start with our complement. All right. Notice the spelling of the word complement. There is an E after the L instead of an I. That is the proper way to spell this, so it's different than the way we see it if we're thinking about giving somebody a compliment. Right, so the complement of set A, symbolized by A with an apostrophe after it, is a set of all of the elements in the universal set that are not in set A. So when we see the word complement, we should associate with the word not, what is not in our set. All right. So in this first example, we're given our universal set. Our universal set are the numbers 1 through 8, and set A are the numbers, or contains the numbers 1, 3, and 4. We're asked to find the complement of A and illustrate the relationship in a Venn diagram. All right, so what we have here is just a Venn diagram only with one set, because we're only thinking about one set here. We just have our set A that we're dealing with. Anything that's in A, I'm going to place inside that center circle. So I'm going to place our 1, our 3, and our 4 in here because these are elements in set A. Right, now anything that is not in set A, we're going to put outside in our Venn diagram. Right, so 2 is not contained in there. 5, 6, 7, and 8. So all of those are elements that are not in set A. So if we write this out using proper set notation, all right, the complement of A, so the A followed by the apostrophe, equals, right, then in our braces, we're going to list off these elements that are not in set A. Right? So we have 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. As you were going through and working through some of the homework problems, some of the mini quiz problems, if you are asked to list out, remember list is a roster form that we talked about in the last section. If you're asked to list out the elements of a set, make sure you're following the instructions. If it tells you to make sure that they're in numerical order, make sure they're in numerical order. If it tells you to make sure that there are commas in between them, make sure that there are commas in between them. So again, in this particular example, our diagram, we only had one set, set A. Everything that was in set A, that were elements of set A, we put inside the circle. Anything that was in the complement that was not in set A is what we just put outside in our universal set.